keep this as timely as possible. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be covering several things. I'm trying to figure out where my notes are. Okay, we're going to be covering what is cannabis, where did it come from. We're going to talk about the endocannabinoid system and how CBD is effective with it. We're going to be talking a little bit about target markets, and then we're going to talk about individual products, their highlight ingredients, and one thing, we're also going to get a little bit of a peek conversation, no sneak peek of actually visual stuff, but a little bit of a peak conversation on the new brand that is going to be launching soon. And very soon you're going to be getting more details and education on those products so that you are 100% prepared and ready to launch those in your own business. So let's start from the very beginning. And if you've been doing the Facebook launch events, if I helped you with those, you've heard some of this content already. But that's good because repetition is key in learning and repeating it yourself, especially if you're doing events yourself. So here's the deal. Cannabis CBD. CBD comes from cannabis. What is cannabis? Well, cannabis is a plant that has been around, I would guess, from the beginning of time. It was seen and known in ancient Chinese medicine for its many healing powers. And with cannabis, you actually have the hemp plant and you have the marijuana plant. Now, for a while, most people were most familiar, obviously, with the marijuana plant because it caused the most disruption in our society. Now, what's really interesting about this is that a century ago, hemp and marijuana were actually legal. And they were legal because there was no issue behind them, but someone actually went in, kind of changed the way that marijuana kind of was created to where it would have a higher THC level. And that's what happens when you have a product that has THC in it and then it's heated, it causes that high effect. So with hemp though, which is where our products come from, it has an extremely low THC level, and our final product that you end up consuming yourself has less than 0.3% THC in it. So it's practically impossible to get that euphoric feeling, that high feeling that you would get if I just say it honestly, if you smoked a joint. Okay, so you're not going to get that with our products. Okay, all right, so let's back it up to cannabis. You have cannabis, then you have the hemp plant that comes from the cannabis family. So you have the hemp plant, and then from there you have cannabinoids. Now cannabinoids are everything that is CBG, CBN, CBC, CBD, THC. All of these things are called cannabinoids. Specifically, they're called phytocannabinoids because they come from the plant. Now, these interact with what's called an endocannabinoid system, and that is a system that is within your body. Now, if you're like me, you probably didn't learn about that in school, right? So this was actually discovered late 80s and really researched big time in the 90s and 2000s. And here's what happened is they started to find out that when someone consumed cannabinoids, there was something happening in the body that was a positive effect. And so that research led them to find out that there were these receptors all throughout our body, our brain, our major organs, our immune system, and cannabinoids worked with it to create and turn your body, or make your body go into that homeostasis state. And obviously we know that when we're in a homeostasis state, then our bodies can heal much better, themselves. And so with CBD, when you consume that product, or cannabinoids in general, right? When you consume that product, when you put it under your tongue, and I'm going to show you how to do this in a second, I'll do it at the very end. But when you put the oil under your tongue, it's absorbed into the fatty tissues under there. It's absorbed into the tissues, into the bloodstream, and then it moves about your body and starts to connect with those receptors. Now, what's interesting is that each of your cannabinoids connect to different receptors, but I'm not going to go that in depth. And here's why, because it's not necessary. It's not necessary for repeating and selling the product, okay? But if you want to do your own research, Google is amazing, and there's tons of it out there for you to Google and learn more if you want to get that far in depth. Now, with the endocannabinoid system, here's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you how you can kind of navigate the website so that you can continue to learn. So I'm going to do a screen share here of my thing. You can see my Facebook page. Okay. So we're going to go here. This is the LivCana page. I need to reduce that so I don't get distracted. Okay, so this is the LivCana page. You can scroll down and it says, are you nourishing your endocannabinoid system? Now, your endocannabinoid system has several things that it actually works with. And it works with your fertility, it works with pregnancy, appetite, pain, sensitivity, mood, and memory. Now, your endocannabinoid system is activated during daily challenges and especially during extreme activity, meaning that you need a healthy endocannabinoid system to make it through these states when you're in them, right? So when you wear down your ECS from time to time, this causes the ECS to be overworked and lessens its ability to sufficiently support your system, okay? And when I say system, I mean everything, all these things that we discussed up here. So this leads your body to being out of balance and causing a host of other related issues. Okay, so I'm going to stop screen share and discuss that for just a second. So let's do this. Sorry, I just changed something on myself. I was trying to do this so you guys didn't look at each other so much because it can be distracting. All right, so your endocannabinoid system. Most of us have had a deficient endocannabinoid system because we have not been giving it the cannabinoids it needs to work efficiently, right? Now, here's an interesting thought or interesting fact is that you can actually get cannabinoids from things like dark chocolate. Did anybody know that? So what's interesting is that it's not going to be as potent and as pure as consuming it directly from your CBD oil. So when you get a more pure oil with the right carrier oil that's going to help you absorb it into your bloodstream, that's going to give it the best effect with your endocannabinoid system. So you want to have something, and I'm going to get to this a little bit later on, but you want MCT oil over any other carrier oil, and I'll touch on that here in a little bit. So with that, I want to dive back into my screen share so you guys can follow me through a little thing. All right, we're going to talk farming and extraction methods. We grow in the United States. Currently, our products are grown out in Colorado. We use supercritical CO2 extraction. Somebody had a question on that, and we're going to hit on it in just a moment. It is pesticide free. We do make sure the farms are using organic practices, and there is no solvents in our final product. Okay, so I want to pop over here, and if you go to a product page, you can actually click on the certificate of analysis. Now, some of your prospects and customers or IBOs may ask you about this. This is a very common thing in the hemp industry, in the CBD industry, because we have a lot of people who think they're really smart and they know how to read this. And so if we look at the certificate of analysis, here's what we can see. We can actually see exactly what cannabinoids are in the product. So we can see that our full spectrum has CBN, CBC, CBG, CBDV, CBD, and THC. Now, if you're like me, when I first started looking at this, I was like, great, what does that even mean? Well, we can pop over here and we can find different things that kind of explains it. So we can see that THC helps to relieve pain, it reduces nausea, and this is all just basic information. This is not life activated brands, so these cannot be screenshot. Do not screen share this. Do not say life activated brands does these things because it's against compliance to do that. Do not go publicly on your Facebook page and say that, or you will be in trouble with compliance. But THC helps with muscle spasms and stimulating the appetite. CBD, you can see CBD is like the queen, right, or the king here of cannabinoids. So it relieves pain, reduces seizures, relieves anxiety, reduces blood sugar, kills and slows bacteria, reduces nausea, inhibits tumor and cancer growth. It reduces artery blockage. It treats psoriasis. It's antipsychotic. It suppresses muscle spasms. It promotes bone growth, and it reduces inflammation. That's a lot. You can see that CBG, that is also in your full spectrum oil, suppresses the appetite. That's great, obviously, for weight loss. It kills and slows bacteria. It inhibits tumor and cancer growth, promotes bone growth, and reduces inflammation. CBN relieves pain and helps you sleep better. CBC relieves pain, inhibits, I keep messing up that word, tumor and cancer growth, promotes bone growth, and reduces inflammation. And there was one more on there that was CBDV. And so I thought, okay, well, CBDV didn't show up on that graphic, so let's go see what CBDV actually helps with. And it reduces the frequency and severity of seizures. Now, here's the thing to note is that you can see how much CBD is in this, right? If you look at it over here, it's showing us that there's 18 milligrams, almost 18 milligrams of just pure CBD. So then you have your CBDV, your CBG, your CBC, CBN. You have all these things that are way lower on the scale, but you're still getting it, okay? So it's coming through. You can see our THC level is less than 0.3%. It's actually very low. I would almost say let's try to get more in this the next time we get a full spectrum oil. But then you can scroll down on the certificate of analysis and you can see what terpenes are in this. Now, I'm not going to train on terpenes today. I'll come back next week and we'll train a little bit on terpenes and what the benefits are of those, but I didn't want to overwhelm you. But you yourself can go and do your own research by coming into the certificate of analysis and searching these on Google and finding out what their benefits are. And then you can scroll down and you can see all the contaminants that could be affecting and present in this oil. And if it says pass, that means that there's not any in it. And so you can see that we pass on all levels there. Okay, so let's stop the screen share. We are now going to move on. I'm going to talk really quick about the individual ingredients. And I told you guys I talk fast. So like I said, this is recorded so you can go back and watch it again. But I want to get this information out to you all as best that I can. And in doing that, if I were to try to spread this out over an hour, I would be all over the place. So I've got all of our products here, the oil, I've got the energy capsules, and I have the balm. Now let's talk about our oil. Ingredients in our oil, we can pull up the website here and we can look at them. We see that it has MCT oil, peppermint extract, and stevia. Along with obviously the CBD. Now, why did we choose MCT oil over any other carrier oil? Well, MCT oil simply has the best fatty components for absorption. It's 90% more, has a 90% better absorption rate than things like hemp oil. And I hear the arguments often that hemp oil actually provides the better idea of a product, a final product, because it's a full plant extract. And I understand the idea and the thought behind that. However, when you were speaking on absorption, when you pay for those CBDs, which by the way, the cost of this is determined by the cost of the CBD because that is the most expensive element in the product. So when you're paying for that, you want to make sure that you're absorbing as much of it as possible, because it really sucks to pay for something that does you no good because it doesn't get into your system. So if it were to be a hemp oil, and hemp oil itself has a lot of great things, nutritional values to it. However, it does not help. It is not the best, I just lost the word, absorbent factor to your CBD. So you want to have the best absorbent partner with that CBD, and that is going to be MCT oil. So that is your argument there when people say, no, hemp oil is better. You can say hemp oil has a lot of nutritional value. However, it does not give the best nutrition or best absorption rate for your CBD. And when you buy a CBD product, you're paying your money for that CBD, not the carrier oil. So you want to make sure that you've got a good carrier oil mixed in with that. Now, we use the peppermint and stevia, obviously, to give it a nice flavor. If you have ever tasted, I don't have any of these oils in here, tasted a natural CBD oil, then you'll know that it has a very earthy flavor. And I would tell you that if you've never tasted it, go buy a bottle and taste it. Because for the majority of the population, they don't like it. So the reason we chose to use stevia and peppermint is because it gives it that nice sweet mint flavor, something that the majority of consumers are going to like and appreciate. And it covers up that earthy flavor as well. There was a product I used, and when I say earthy flavor, by the way, if you've ever smelled or tasted marijuana, that's exactly what the flavoring is. So it's not that pleasant. So I actually had someone send us a bottle of CBD oil, and it was from another network marketing company. And Brandon said, here, try this. So I took it and I almost threw up. And this is to talk a little bit about our extraction method, because they clearly did not use supercritical CO2 extraction. And the reason I knew that is because it had an alcohol base and it burnt the crap out of my mouth. So if you've ever experienced that, that is not the best way to have a product, because there's so many contaminants still in it. So I couldn't believe they were even selling it. But then again, people are crazy and they just want to get in on the money. My opinion is have a good, clean product with clean ingredients. That's what we have here. So to talk a little bit about CO2 extraction, supercritical CO2 extraction. Number one, I'll tell you, I'm not a scientist. This is not my area of expertise. I simply know it's the best way to get all the harmful stuff out of it and keep the good stuff. So it's not going to be harmful to your cannabinoids and your terpenes. It's going to keep those intact, but it is going to remove and kill any bacteria and chemicals that was associated with the hemp flower. So here's what I'm going to do to hopefully help you guys see this. I've got to figure out the best way to share this with you. Screen share, share computer sound. All right, I'm going to play a quick video for you.
During extraction, the CO2 solvent is contained in the system and recaptured at the end of the process. This ensures the CO2 never comes into contact with external elements. The extraction system has three main components: the extraction vessel, the separator, and the accumulator. First, the extraction vessel is filled with the cannabis plant material known as trim. The system is then charged with liquid CO2 until a desired temperature and pressure is reached within the extraction vessel. Once the CO2 is set to the correct temperature and pressure, the system is able to extract the essential oils from the trim. We capture the CO2 in between its liquid and gas state, which is called its supercritical state. Due to the pressure and temperature, the CO2 wants to be a liquid and a gas, but it's neither. It takes on the properties of both elements, which allows it to effuse through solids like a gas and dissolve materials like a liquid. The CO2 in cannabis mixture flows from the extraction vessel to the separator, where the pressure is lower. Due to the change in pressure, the cannabis oil separates from the less dense CO2, and the CO2 is recirculated through the closed-loop system. The cannabis oil is then removed from the separator and prepped for further processing.
All right, so very basic explanation there. Hopefully that sound did work. Can somebody shake their head, let me know the sound worked? Okay, good. So you can go and do your own research on supercritical CO2 extraction to get more acquainted with the process. But in terms of being able to sell this product, most people, the more details you know on that, you're just going to go down a rabbit hole with people, and you're going to more or less keep them from buying because you're trying to over educate them. To be honest with you, and this is probably why I've held off doing product educations, is because sometimes it's easier to sell things when you're dumb to its actual process of everything, because all you can focus on are the benefits of it rather than the full explanation of how it came from A to Z. So supercritical CO2 extraction, here's what you need to know. Very basic is it's simply the best way to extract the product to keep the cannabinoids and the terpenes intact while also removing the bacteria and the harmful chemicals. Very basic explanation, okay? So a couple other things to hit on the CBD oil that you may have questions about is, how did we determine our dosing? You can see that on the package it says 16.7 milligrams of CBD. Here's what that means. It means that we will never have a product that has less than 16.7 milligrams of CBD in it. And so in understanding that, you actually have to go back to that COA that I shared with you earlier, which is right here. You have to go back to this to be able to understand how much CBD is actually in the product. And so you can actually go here. There's 17.89 milligrams of CBD. Now, because this is a full spectrum, you can actually add up all the other components here to get a fuller idea of what's in there. So there's over 18 milligrams of CBD oil specifically in the full spectrum product, okay? Whoops, I hit the wrong button. So interesting thought there. There's not just 16.7, there's actually around 18 milligrams in this product per serving. Now you may ask, how did we come up with our range that we wanted to be in for our single serving dose? Well, I spoke to several experts and pharmacists as well, because they're obviously, that's their market, right? That's what they do. They determine dosage. And so I spoke to them and I said, what's the best range for us to have a product for the masses? And the answer was, you want to be between 15 and 25 milligrams. And I said, okay, great. And the general consensus was, if you're less than 20, it's totally, that's reasonable. And so I thought, well, our marketing team put 16.7 on there. I really don't know where that number came from. I just know that we're going to stay above that number. And so we have 18 in there right now. So the general consensus from those experts is that for a daily dose that you're just consuming to take care of your endocannabinoid system, somewhere in that range of 20 milligrams per day, which is what we're hitting, is going to be a reasonable dose. Now, anything higher than that is more of what I would call a medical dose, meaning that you have major health concerns or major health things. That's such an important word, write that down, that, maybe your doctor should help you determine the best source of what you need to do. But in general, this is the right state that you want to start in. This is great for beginners. It's great for people who are not dealing with, daily opioid use. This is what you want to be using. All right, I think I've got that. Also, full spectrum versus THC free. Obviously, we know that if you worry about drug testing, then you want to take the white packet. So just think black. You may potentially possibly fail. It's not a guarantee, but with white, it's pass rate. You're good to go. Okay, so white, you will pass, and that relates to this only. So fail and pass on drug testing. All right, let's move on to our energy capsules. So energy capsules, since I just talked about drug testing, you will not fail on a drug test by taking these. These are THC free. This is not full spectrum in this product, okay? Here's what you need to know about this, is that our energy source comes from vitamin D, vitamin B, and green tea extract. So it's natural energy. When your body takes on that, those ingredients, it knows exactly what to do with it, meaning that you're not going to get this heart palpitation type of energy where you just want to jump out of your skin. You're also not going to get just that brain stimulant that's telling you, hey, you have energy right now, and then a couple hours later you crash. And if you've taken this product, then you know it is long lasting, and that is not it's not pre-workout style. It's not going to push you into having to get up off the couch and go do something. You're just going to be encouraged to by taking this product. And part of that is due to the CBD that's in there. There's 10 milligrams of CBD. So just to make note of that, if you're taking 18 milligrams, if you're taking this, 18 milligrams plus 10 milligrams, now you're taking almost 30 milligrams a day if you're taking both of these, and that's okay. Then you're going to get, the CBD is going to give you a calming effect with the energy. And so what you start to realize just with those two elements alone is that you have this energy that you want to go and do some stuff, but then you have the CBD that kind of calms you, puts your mood at ease. And so that alone, just those two elements can make you happy. So if you've ever tried this, I have a lot of people tell me it's their happy pill, which is just incredible to hear. Now, there's another element to this that maybe we haven't discussed, and that is that it also has nootropics in it. Now, many things fall under nootropics, but here's what a nootropic is. A nootropic is something that is really good to help with memory. It helps with focus. I like to describe it as, when I take a product that has nootropic in it, and if you've taken this, you might be able to relate to it, is that I feel like I can take in more oxygen. And when I do that, it gives me the sense of removing toxins, like I'm less toxic. And I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, but I have moments where I literally will look at Brandon and be like, man, I just feel toxic. My head feels toxic. I feel like I need to detox. Maybe it's because I've been putting crap in my body and what I've been eating or drinking, or, maybe it's the environment around me. Or maybe it's just that I truly need to detox. But this product, the nootropic, helps you take in more energy. So you're getting more oxygen to your blood supply, which obviously is going to help remove and push toxins out. But it's going to give you this, the way I like to describe it, is it gives you the ability to sit down at your desk if you have a desk job and to get task 1 done, task 2 done, task 3 done without getting distracted and feeling like you are like in control of what's happening. And I can't tell you, if I don't take one of these products, then I feel like I don't get anything accomplished. But if I take it, I feel like I rule the world, literally. I don't know if you guys have experienced that, but this is a product, energy product I can't live without. And you'll find that our new product coming out here very soon is very similar to this, but a step up, okay? And then we have our CBD oil, or CBD balm, I'm sorry. And this, by the way, this is our #1 seller. So if you never know what to talk about, this is the product you talk about. You talk about this product over this product all day long, because this is the one that the majority of the population, they want it. They want energy. They want to be happy. They want to feel good. They want to get work done. So this is the #1 seller here at Life Activated Brands. Now the CBD balm. This is probably my personal favorite product. I keep it everywhere. I have it in my office, obviously. I have it in almost every room of my house. And I use it for everything. I use it for facial moisturizer. I use it when I get a headache. I use it to relieve the tension and pains that I have. Now, none of those, obviously, when I say it, is compliant, but you guys are IBOs, so I can tell you these things. So you guys know how to use it yourself and how to share with your friends and family how they can use it as well. This has saved me hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in massages, because I don't have to go get a massage when I consistently use this product, which blows my mind. It has a beeswax base, meaning that a little goes a long way. So you get a little bit out, rub it on, and it's going to easily spread, and it's going to soak in and not leave that greasy film afterwards. It has MCT oil and then 6 essential oils. It has grapefruit, which is really good, by the way, for like grapefruit is known to help with spot area cellulite. just FYI. So consistently rub it in those areas. You may over time see some reduction there. Lemon oil, peppermint oil, eucalyptus oil, rosemary oil, and clary sage. Several of those help with pain sensation, reducing the pain sensation, which is why this product is so fast acting. If you have used this product, then you probably can relate to the idea that, well, to the experience that within 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, you feel the difference, if not immediately. You know, that's what it is for me. The first time we first formulated this product, my dad was complaining. We were visiting my parents. My dad was complaining of his knees, and he is not a believer in anything like this. And I said, hey, just put this on your knee. Let's see what happens. So he rubbed it on his knee, got up, he went to the bathroom, he came out, and he just kind of stood there and stared at me. And so I was like, why are you staring at me? What's going on? And he said, I don't believe it's true. There's absolutely no way. He said, but my knee doesn't hurt anymore. And my response was, yeah, there's no way it was that. And after using it more and more, I started to realize, wow, this stuff really is fast acting. Like, you notice that difference very quickly. So if you haven't tried this product, I would grab it. But definitely share this with anything. I put it on my kids, always hoping it's going to calm them down, but it doesn't actually do that, I don't think. So if you have kids, let me know if that works for you. But I use it on myself when my tension's getting really heavy. My dad has used it for several things. My grandfather uses it for his hands. Obviously, you know what that's all about. So if you have any of those pains in your joints, this is a godsend. Brandon's mom uses it for that as well. It's amazing. So that is the highlight ingredients. Now, really quick, target markets. I'm not going to tell you your target market is a woman between the age of 40 and 60 who is a stay-at-home mom, because that's not your target market. Okay, your target market is literally everyone. Everyone has an endocannabinoid system, therefore they need to support it with cannabinoids. And like I told you earlier, there's really no other source besides CBD oil that you can get a good pure dose of cannabinoids. That is your best option. So everyone is on the market, or should be on the market, to get this, because it's out of the food chain. Here's the deal, and I didn't mention this on the front end. A century ago, before hemp and marijuana became illegal, it actually grew, and our cattle, our livestock and our bees, it pollinated with it, it ate it, and because of that, it got into our food supply. And so we would naturally consume it just by, the natural process. And so here's the deal, though. We didn't naturally consume it, but our great-great-grandparents naturally consumed it, which is why we didn't see all of the issues a century ago like we see now. And so when all this was discovered, and of course it couldn't be discovered until it was taken away, right? So it was a new thing that was found. When it came back now, we've got to load up on this. It does not come in our food supply anymore. So this is literally the only way that you can get it into your system now, unless you are personally cooking with it, which is going to ruin it and actually changes the molecule. So if you heat up CBD, it changes it into something else. If you heat up THC, it changes it into another cannabinoid that actually makes you sleepy. So you don't want to heat up these components in cooking. So it's not going to work that way, but you do want to consume these products on a daily basis to get it back flowing into your system and working. So target market, though, everyone has an ECS, endocannabinoid system. So everyone is in your target market. If you want to reduce that down, look for people who already use CBD oil. There's a ton of companies out there who are selling it, and a ton of people who maybe even beat us in price, but do they use supercritical CO2 extraction? Do they use all the things that I've shared with you? And also most people want to purchase from someone they trust. And if you know your stuff well enough to kind of share with them what I've shared with you today, you don't have to go that in depth. then they're more likely to purchase from you. Third, anyone who is verbally sharing that they feel unhealthy, and that they are looking for a solution. There are some people who will complain all day long, but they're not actually looking for a solution. They're just looking for someone to feel sorry for them. But find the people who are trying to find solutions for their issues, and you may be able to help them with our products. Now, I will tell you from a compliance standpoint, don't say that our product helps with blah, blah, blah. Our products do not relieve pain, because we have never tested that. We've never done the personal research from our products doing that, a formal research, a formal whatever it's called, test. We've never done a formal one. Therefore, we cannot say Life Activated Brands products do anything except support your endocannabinoid system. Clinical trial. Thank you, Judith. So we've never done clinical trials on our products. Those cost a lot of money. So don't expect us to do one anytime soon. So be sure that the verbiage that you're using is compliant, but at the same time, don't be scared to share what you know with people. It's important to do that. Let's see, I'm going to answer some quick questions. And if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments now. And I'm going to run through Q&A and then close this down with a little peek on the new product. So someone said, is this safe for kids? The answer is yes. I've given oil to my 2-year-old daughter. I haven't given it to my 1-year-old yet, but when I gave it to Annie, she wasn't much older than a year old. Now, I will tell you, you don't want to give it to anyone who is less than a year old, because they should not consume anything other than technically breast milk, but I know that's not always the case. But they should not have any essential oils in their body, which, I mean, our actual oil, it's a peppermint flavor. It's not an essential oil, so to speak. So yes, this is safe for kids. Someone said, is it safe for dogs? Here's what I'll say. I will say yes. However, it does have peppermint in it. So you should always ask your vet to get more details on that. Extraction process, we spoke about CO2 extraction earlier. And again, if you want to learn the more in-depth, extraction method there, do your own research, because it could take me, I'm not good at explaining it. That's just blunt answer. I'm not good at explaining it. And then what sets our snaps apart besides packaging? Here's what I'll tell you. And when they wrote that question down, they said, because everyone claims to have the best. And here's the deal. A lot of people out there have the best. If they use supercritical CO2 extraction and do all the things that we do, which I shared a moment ago, get this shared again, which was, scoot up here, to our farming and extraction standards. If these are their standards, these are the best standards. It doesn't get much better than that. Now, the only other way that you can compare anything is strictly through the COA. And then that's going to be per basis on what the individual is actually looking for compared to this chart right here. So is it better in terms of anything else on the market? I would say it's probably better than 99% of what you see on the market, because most companies are not using supercritical CO2 extraction. Most people are not using all the things I just mentioned. Most people are not even sharing their certificate of analysis with you. So that sets us apart on a major scale, along with our packaging. Now, our packaging and how it keeps its integrity more than it does in a tincture bottle is your biggest selling point. Just so you know, that is your biggest selling point. So let's go through some of these questions that you guys have. How much CBD does our body require in a day? Honestly, it's different from everyone, because everyone's body is different. So that's where, when we did dosing, I said, what's the best range? They said 15 to 25 milligrams. And this, what we currently have, what you currently have, is 18 milligrams. How long does the balm last? Depends on how much you use, how often you use it. But a little goes a long ways. So it's definitely gonna last you all month long if you're using it every single day, multiple times a day. Some people, it lasts them for months. Does the balm degrade after repeated opening and using? I have not experienced that, and I think it's because of the base that it has. Plus, it's a topical use, not an internal use. So you still have those essential oils in there. When will we get the info on the new products? I'm going to share a little bit with you here soon and give you an update on timeline for those. Are others having problems? I said no negative questions. That's a negative question. But here's what I'll tell you about that. We have current stock that we need to get rid of, so buy it all, because the packages still work, and I'm aware that these little things will crack at times. So I'm going to be open and honest with you because that's what we do. I understand that these will crack. I understand that sometimes they're not so easy to get open. Here's what we learned after our first round of these, and first couple of rounds, is that there is a better backing for us to use, and we have we're waiting for that to come into stock. That is going to give more of that actual snap effect where it doesn't have the cracking. So just so you know, it's coming, but we have to sell out of these first, and these work just fine. They release the oil. You may just have to squeeze and puncture to get it out, okay? Just work with us on it. We are a startup company, so we do have things that we have to work through, and that's one of them. So just understand that we're fixing it, and it's coming. Are the essential oils in the balm organic? We're working on improving some of our organic stuff, but right now they are not organic. If they were, I think it would say it on there. But we are in time. We are a startup company. You know, everything has a price, right? So to take this balm right now and put organic on it, I would have to charge you a lot more for it. I don't want to do that. I know that in launching a company, the price of the product means a lot. There's nothing harmful about it not being organic with these. So we went with the best option that we could give you guys for the price. I hope that makes sense to you all. I like to be open and honest. I like the best for my body, as you guys do too. So we're working on doing organic. We're working on some of the ingredients in these being organic. So just know that we're working on these things, but we need to double the company and to get there. All right, let's see. Any difference between CBD in oil versus water or water soluble, if that makes sense? CBD oil is the best. All the other stuff is just marketing things and just another way for somebody to say it's better. This is the best. Water soluble is not the best use of cannabinoids. I don't know the scientific everything about that. When we went through this, one of our partners actually has he has his hand in a lot of companies, and one of his companies actually has a water soluble, and we were discussing it all with him, and here's what I'll tell you is that their water soluble does not sell. Nobody wants it. Nobody gets benefits from it. People get benefits from this. I think that speaks volumes. Awesome. All right, any other questions? And then I'm gonna close this down with a little bit of talk about LivCology. So if you have any other last questions, pop them over here. Can we share the graphics? I don't know which graphics you mean. The ones that I shared today? Sure, I guess I can do that. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. So LivCology. LivCology is coming. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Here's what our delay is. One is we were waiting on ingredients to come in, the mail service, and then people not working and not being able to work with coronavirus has kind of thrown off everything because originally we expected last Monday to be our release date, and unfortunately that did not happen. So the last of our ingredients were supposed to come in today, and I haven't gotten word yet. I'm waiting to talk to everyone in the lab to see if they arrived. So once they arrive, they have to do the testing on these products to make sure it is what we actually ordered, and then we can put it into creation, and then once the product is complete, they'll have to do the testing on the products again. The other aspect of it that's delaying us is our labeling. So after we approve the labeling and get that to the printers, we found that there's a delay at the printers. And so what I mean by that is anything that is food and medical related gets pushed to the front of the line. So we're basically just in queue, waiting for our labels to be printed. Obviously, we can't sell products without labels, so we're just waiting for that to get done. Now, I would love to tell you that, you know, by May 1st, this would be launched. I would love to tell you by May 15th, it would be launched. I'd love to tell you by July 1st, it would be launched. But I do not have a hard date at this time. With that being said, I also do not have a hard date for Canada launching. Now, we're pushing and doing everything from our end that we can, but until we know that our labels have gone into print, we won't have a hard date. Because it's all going to be determined on that. And unfortunately, that is out of our control per the government, okay? So we are pushing, doing everything that we can to get that date up as quickly as possible. We like to keep you informed, but here's the deal. Don't let that discourage you because you just learned a lot about LivCana and new ways that you can go and promote and build your business off of that. Of course, we have the $1 deal still going with the IBO Business Suite. And so, yeah, Livology though, just a quick little sneak peek. I'm not gonna train on this, but just in case you haven't heard any of the details on it, Livology is really a 30-day plan. It's a kickstart program. And there's 4 products within this brand. You have your Activate, which is an energy product with nootropics and weight loss components. You also have a sleep product that helps you fall asleep, reduces that stress that you might have, all that mental talk that you might experience trying to go to sleep at night. It reduces that, and there's also some weight loss components to it. We also have a cleanse capsule, which is a daily capsule that you take to help remove toxins. So it's not a harsh detox. And then we have an actual detox that is a tea, to Detox Tea. Now, I won't say it's harsh, but it is a detox tea. It is going to make you go to the bathroom. I will tell you that does have gluten in it. And I say that because if you are very gluten intolerant, you should not consume that product unless you just want to test it out and see what happens. But it is going to make you go to the bathroom, meaning you're going to poop if you don't understand what I'm saying here. But it's going to help you get rid of all the gunk that is just keeping your system from getting rid of the weight. When we lose weight, when we burn off those fat cells, what's in those fat cells, when that fat cell shrinks, the stuff inside of it has to go somewhere, and it gets clogged up most of the time in our colon. And so the cleanse and the detox tea is going to help cleanse that out. The detox tea is also going to help cleanse out your liver and kidney. So you're helping the entire system down here work better, get cleaned out, so it can help you continue to break through those barriers that you experience when you hit plateaus. So I'm excited for this to launch. I've heard incredible things of people losing, 5+ pounds in the first week. So it's phenomenal. There's going to be some guidance as well when we launch this. We're going to do a 30-day challenge that I'll be kind of guiding, but it'll be a 30-day challenge, kickstart to weight loss, that we'll be promoting, that you can get your people into. This will be company-wide that we do it. And it's going to walk people through a lot of stuff that is intermittent fasting, water intake, macro tracking, talking about exercises, recipes, and what to eat and how to make a meal so that it's like the best combination of stuff. So we're going to be going through all of that with LivCana. Livology. Are all future product lines going to start with Liv? I don't know. I haven't named them all. We actually had a different name for Livology, but then we couldn't use it because somebody used it in, it was already taken on the international scale. It wasn't taking US, but it was taken on the international scale. So Livology was a well, a few days. It took us a few days to come up with that one. I'll just say that. But I'm happy to have landed on it because I think it's a perfect depiction of what we are trying to do. So I'm going to go back through the comments really quick. Graphics we presented today, so we can reshape them. So actually, you know what? I mean, the only graphic I actually shared today was a graphic that is not compliant. So no, I'm not going to be sharing those graphics. Otherwise, you can actually get on the website to get everything else. So just so you guys can see this, if you're wanting to get the graphics, if you go to the website, this is the LivCana page. So you click LivCana at the top. It's going to show you, I probably should have not clicked on that. It's going to show you all the stuff that I shared with you. It's going to give you their farming and extraction methods. And then you can actually click on any of the shop nows. That's going to get you to these pages, which you can then click on the certificate of analysis, which pops these up. And then from here, you just need to grab these words and go Google. Google and find out their benefits. But I will tell you to take a graphic like this and post it anywhere. Being a business owner with life activated brands is against compliance because life activated products legally doesn't do any of this for you. We cannot claim that. So while the general research says this, life activated brands does not have research saying this. So we cannot say life activated brands does this on a public marketing standpoint. Now, if you're in conversation with people, I can't monitor that. I don't monitor that. Neither does the FDA. So your best bet is to get in personal conversations with people. Okay. Let's see. No worry, Tori. No worries. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Will this be available for us before our customers so that we can try it first? What we are expecting to do is when we release it, the first 24 hours, because here's the deal. We have this first round that we did, our first purchase order. There's only 1,500 kits. So when we launch this, we're only going to be launching it in the kit. So you have to purchase the entire kit, and there's only 1,500 of them. So that's all there is until we order more. But we need to flip that. It's a money thing. That's just how business goes. So we flip that. We get more in production for people to purchase. So the first 24 hours will be for current IBOs and customers already in the system. So if you know someone who's wanting it, they want to make sure they get it within that first 24 hours. I would make sure that they are in the system prior to us launching. Let's see, can we say some of the known benefits of cannabinoids? Like I just said, you can in conversation, do not post it on Facebook, because while you might not be at the top of the FDA radar, the FDA is highly watching CBD companies, which means that if they pinpoint you as an associate of life activated brands, then we end up getting the letter from the FDA telling us that we got to get you in check, we got to get our marketing in check, and then it puts us on their radar, and we do not want to be on their radar. Can founders get first dibs? I mean, everyone here is a founder. You bought LivCana product, so you are a founder. You will get first dibs on the Livology product. So I took 55 minutes from your day. I only wanted to take 30, but I hope this has been valuable for you. I think the last several minutes we took with the Q&A, which we don't normally get, but I appreciate you guys jumping on. Again, this has been recorded. I will post the recording later. I've got some tasks that I need to go complete, but we will get this loaded shortly so that you guys can come back and rewatch it and share it with your team. But next week, I plan on us coming back and maybe diving into some different stuff, as well as covering all the same information again. So hope you guys enjoyed. I appreciate you coming. Thanks so much.